Hi, good evening. It's Friday evening once again, and time for Hold No Bars with yours truly, Manzoor Nadir. Yes, we have a few topical issues that I want to give my view on, and then let's hear your views afterwards. A couple of things. Shocked last evening. I didn't hear this myself, but someone called me today and said, Mr. Nadir, did you see the news last evening? I said, sorry, I didn't get a chance to see the news. I normally tend to catch up on my news via the reading method, not the listening method. And so he says, well, my wife was shocked because a reporter asked the commissioner of police. She said, she's reporting, right? The reporter said, Commissioner, there were 17 murders in 14 days. What do you have to say? And I understand that the commissioner's response, I am not bothered. Cringing, eh? Commissioner said to a question from the media, there were 17 murders in 14 days. And our commissioner of police says he is not bothered. Well, this hooligan is. This hooligan is bothered. The other issue, just before I came, I said I catch up with my news in terms of the reading method. And I saw PNCR executive member Aubrey Norton reviewing the work of the coalition in the last 4 years as against the PPPC in the last 23 years of its period. And Norton said, in the last 4 years, we have done more than the PPP has done over the past 23 years with the same resources. Aubrey, you're living in a different world. The PNC spent over $1 trillion in the 4 years, right? And what do we have to show for it? More arches. We got 2 brand new arches that were gifts to the government. One by Banks DIH. Banks is normally a very responsive donor to PNC governments, right? No problem with that. And then the other one, Ansa McCall, after they got the $600 odd million sole sourcing award, donated a $20 million arch at the eastern entrance of the city. And we have a few overpass. But so Aubrey says that the coalition has done more in the past 4 years in terms of working with the same resources that the PPP had. Now, he may be entitled to his opinion, but there's something called dissonance. Dissonance is when reality doesn't match remark. Dissonance is when reality doesn't match remark. And clearly, the remarks of Aubrey Norton, the mouthpiece for the PNCR, the major party in the coalition, doesn't match reality. And he says, in terms of crime and corruption, they're way down. 17 murders in 14 days, Aubrey and Commissioner James. That must be a record for this dear land of ours. So that's my take on Aubrey Norton's comment, but more particularly, my concern over the comment by the Commissioner of Police as attributed to him by a viewer of the news last evening when he said he was not bothered about 17 murders in 14 days. The 2 other issues I want to raise this evening, and one is the major shakeup in terms of foreign affairs. Now, we know that at least one ambassador has confirmed that he was given until the end of December to return, to leave his post in China. Well, I gave away the ambassador there, but at least one has confirmed that he is given until the 30th of December to leave his post. And he has been our ambassador. Good. So we have the internet going again. One person saying that Norton is Alice in Wonderland. Okay, we still got a few more minutes of my time, so I will not answer the phones as yet. So we have, Kevin, you can put up 6819312. That number is also available this evening, 6819312. Okay, so the other issue is this recall. And we're in unusual times. The Chief Justice said these are not normal times. The CCJ said to the government, you're a caretaker government, and you're seeing all these major shifts in policy and implementation of all these strange decisions. You know, the Director General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs being removed. You know, and I had mentioned on another program that in order to change the Director General, that you have to remove the position from the establishment, and that's what they did. They removed the position, so the Director General, the person who held the position up to the end of November, that position was eliminated. If the position wasn't eliminated and they had sent the Director General on leave, then the new person would have had to have an acting appointment. But they chose to send the Director General on leave and at the same time eliminate the position and reappoints now a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs says, we're doing this because it's normal administrative procedures. I don't see such an abnormal move being normal, and I've been in government and I've been in public life and in parliament for over 2.5 decades, right? So I haven't seen this kind of normal, abnormal situation before. Also, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs statement said that we're making this statement to allay fears and to stop all the misconceptions and the misinformation and surmisings so that people will understand the reason why we're doing it or reasons why we're doing it. So one was this normal administrative. Two, it was to remove these older ambassadors and the ambassadors who have been serving for a long time overseas and replace them with fresh, young, bright, talented person. I don't have a problem with that, all right? But start at the top. So, and ambassadors tend to, yes, get shifted around, get replaced, called back home, and you know, it happens. But you're choosing to do that now when you have only a few months before elections. I'm being careful with these words because I'm saying before elections. I don't want to see when the life of this government is coming to an end, because my take is this government's life has come to an end a long time ago. So that was a good laugh with respect to what happened in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But what is happening here is their strategists on the table is saying to themselves, look, we have a couple of situations. One, Minister Dr. Karen Cummings is not comfortable with the staff she has around, especially at the ambassadorial level and at the head. And so we have to give her people she feels comfortable with. That's one. Two, look, we have to get good, loyal party hacks in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I wouldn't be surprised if Aubrey Norton is reappointed somewhere in there even before elections. And, excuse me, that these are the persons we will need, because what we have in plan to ensure that we stay in power, even if it's not by the ballot, we will need a set of loyalists to go out there and represent us to the international community. So, towards the end of the Iraqi war, they had a guy who became known as Baghdad Ali. Baghdad Ali would go on the television. The Allied forces was at the doorsteps of Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein had fled already and started digging himself into holes, right? And Baghdad Ali was still on TV saying, "We are winning the war," So that was Baghdad Ali, and I was around a little while when that was happening. So this is part of the issue at Foreign Affairs. You can have your say on it. And then my last comment this evening is going to touch on the issue of something that's pretty dear to me. And maybe I shouldn't speak about it because I might end up taking too much of your time. So let me see how the comments go, and then I will come back with the last comment I wanted to make. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars. Okay, that person I cut off accidentally. All right, let me just, okay, that one is working. Hello, good evening. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Oh, no bars.
Hold no bars. Go ahead.
Can I give a contribution?
Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, I'm on the life. There's going to be a contribution that the three presidents of the Guyana is Mr. Desmond Height, Mr. Granger, Mr. Jagan, because of the integrity. They passed away as a poor president. Why they passed away as a poor president?
Mm-hmm.
Why they passed away as a poor president?
What is the...
Why they passed away as a poor president?
Okay, why they passed away as poor presidents?
Because of the integrity. They live the life, but they live poor.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not too sure about David Granger. Desmond Hoyt, yes, he would go down as a statesman, and he would go down as this guy who used to be in Russia, Gorbachev, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gorbachev was the man with glasnost and perestroika, change and openness, transparency, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Hoyt, I think, is going to go down that, though also he was relatively poor. David Granger, I am not too sure, because David Granger's residence is bigger than the one that Jagdeo has in less time. So, okay, so we have one person talking about the different presidents. Let's see, we have a couple of comments here. Good evening. The person said, I slept away. The PNC wants to put fresh ambassadors to cause confusion, right? Okay, so maybe I will talk about the last one. And the last one I want you to have your say in is Pagwali is at it again. So Pagwali is the Honorable Henry, the person holding the position of Minister of Education. And we call her Pagwali. Remember, this is the lady who makes up Pagwa and Diwali and then fire the people around her because she said that they gave her the wrong speech, or they wrote something wrong in the speech. Come on, you're a minister. Even if you have speech writers, there's something in when you have a person who could type, and that's what they call a copy typist. Whatever they see, they type. They copy exactly. They call them a copy typist. So she probably was a copy speechist. So whatever she sees in paper, she would repeat. So she got the very famous name of Pagwali. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, I hear PPP will be distributed among folks after they gain power, right?
Yes.
Well, house lot. When you give a house lot, you have to depend on a job to live, right? But if you give, say, a 5-acre piece of land each man, you know, if anybody, like, if they're going to be opening a housing scheme like a 5-acre per person, so they could do a little farming instead of depending on a job. There's my concern.
Okay, well, let me tell you, right? We've had a policy of giving 15 acres actually in the rural areas, along with that house lots. We did.
That's a large amount.
Yeah. So.
I'm just looking for something like that because if you do give a house lot, you still have to depend on a job.
Yeah.
I am a proud TP supporter, but I would just like to know if there will be opening any housing plan like that.
But you wouldn't get 5 acres in a housing development, right?
Yeah, I understand.
But you'll get 5 houses.
Take canal number 1 and canal number 2, for example, right?
Right.
They have 3 rod width in land, and a reasonable portion that you could do little farming just in case you're out of a job.
Yeah, that's a good idea, right? Except we won't be able to take over private land. Like in canal, most of the lands are under the co-ops, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying like canal, like probably open it back at like say Moko or something along with big estate land but farther down.
No, in fact, the new road at Irfan had gotten $51 million from India just before. That was the idea, was to run that new, just way east of the current East Bank Road, and that would have opened up a lot of lands for farming and non-residential use. But that's a good idea. I will keep it among the leadership.
I hope I hear something about it because I think nobody is speaking about farming.
Thank you. Right? Good man. Hi, good evening. Okay, so bear with us. You know, I know it's a little bit it's trying your patience holding on, but what we have to do is give people a little chance. On average, we try to give people a minute and a half on the program. Hi, good evening. I know you've been trying since the program started. Go ahead.
Manzoor Nadir. By the time the PP come back in power, Christopher Jones might get most of the land in there now.
Christopher Jones?
Yes, Christopher Jones.
Okay. What land did Christopher get recently?
He gets a set of land by Gayak, Chua Rasta, one and great on the one place, whatever for 2 decades.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
2 decades?
Monday morning in front of the GPO.
Uh-huh.
Pensioner leave early, but 5 o'clock in the morning to go in Jenny line. It was a long line. And they're pushing that tool man to follow and knock the head. And he dead in front of the GPO Monday morning.
That's accurate, you're telling me, Chief?
Yes. Monday morning, nobody from GPO and come out and assist the soul man. People who went to the line car for the ambulance.
Man, I can't understand why.
When the ambulance comes, the fire station have an ambulance. They arrive. People in the line car for ambulance. When the ambulance comes, they say this man there. The man fall and knock he had an old pensioner line up since 5 o'clock a morning in front of GPO.
Come on, man. We got to do better than
Show
this.
from GPO in any media or nothing. Go in front of GPO tomorrow and defenders of son out here, they can tell you.
Good man, thanks.
Okay.
Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Manzoor?
Yes, go ahead.
How are you, sir?
You gotta speak up a bit, right?
Yeah. I want to take issue with a point you raised. I do agree that former President Hoyt died as a modest man in terms of his means. However, this has been a statement that people have been making that Mr. Hoyt brought practice and brought democracy to the country, for the country. I want to differ with that view. The simple reason that Mr. Hoyt had no alternative because he had to go to the States to get loans and to
362 million US dollars
and
to be exact.
result of that he was forced to open the economy. Hoyt himself did not open the economy per se. As a matter of fact, I want to make this statement. Could you remember when there was an elections situation where he said dollars are going nowhere, and he said vote cannot come sit at the place of poll, and Carter came. Carter changed all of that. So it's not Mr. Hoyt. Of course, I have to be guarded in my statement because Mr. Hoyt is dead, and I have a lot of respect for dead. facts are facts.
Mm-hmm.
So this glass nose thing about Mr. Hoy, I don't think it's totally correct. I think what is correct, he died honestly. What people have been saying, he was the first to open the economy. So that is not true. He was forced to that based on the ABC countries and so. That's my point to you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, well, while that is a bit accurate, at the same time, he did do it. So I want to give him some credit for that. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Okay, if you don't turn down, I forgot to put my sign up. If you don't turn down the TV, and I'm going to get that kind of feedback, I'll cut you off, right? Okay, so coming back to Pagwali, right? Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hey, Mr. Manzoor, good night.
Good evening.
All right. I must commend the previous administration, PPP, for all these house lots that have been given out.
Mm-hmm.
It really has created a lot of jobs,
Right.
giving out so much of house lots.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't hear nobody talking about the issue with Gaisuku when they sell your piece of land.
Mm-hmm.
And this exists a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
GRA is not releasing any compliance to Gaisuku so you can get your transport pass.
Mm-hmm.
And this issue exists a long time. So, I mean, when did your Gaisuku sell your piece of land?
Uh-huh.
I know this is a government entity,
Right.
isn't it?
Yes.
How come GRA is not releasing compliance to Gaisuku for the transport to pass?
But something got to be wrong there, right?
That's the issue.
Massa cow, massa bull.
That's the issue I'm facing with right now because I'm a small business owner
Mm-hmm.
and I do not have a capital to.
Which area?
This is Bel Air Village.
Bel Air Village.
Yeah, and this is my dad's born and grown this land. This is not like we get a piece of land through government or.
No, but this is a serious one.
whatever.
This is a serious one. So I want to sympathize a lot with you, and it's something we have to raise, right?
Yeah, I really would like you to look into this, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, I want to apply. I went to all the banks, and none of the banks agreed to give me a loan.
Okay, you don't have title? You don't have transport? You don't have title?
The land is split in two horizontally, and the building is sitting on both of the lands, throttling both of the lands. So when I go to build a house on the land, the bank would not give me a loan because I don't have boat transport. And the building is going to be sitting on both of the lands. I got an agreement to sale from Gaisuku, and I got a transport for the other piece.
Mm-hmm.
So they would not give me the loan because the building I want to build is 25 feet in width.
Mm-hmm.
And the transported piece of land that I have is 20 feet in width.
Uh-oh.
And the agreement of sale is 15 feet in width.
Here,
So,
give me a call on Tuesday morning. I will try and see if I can talk to someone about clarifying this position, right?
yeah.
And we'll report on Friday too if you don't call me, right? Thanks a
very
lot.
much, Mr. Manzoor.
That's an important point. I can't understand why Gaisuku can't get compliance from GRE. Godfrey, I think it's something you should look at because I'm sure a lot of other people are going to be in the same position. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars.
Hi, Mr. Nadir.
Go ahead.
How are you, sir?
All is well. Assalamu alaikum.
With the election commission, with the list,
Mm-hmm.
is the complete party satisfied with the list? Or everything will go on?
I can't give you a definitive answer with respect to that. However, what I can say is that your commissioners from the PPPC continue to actively pursue the issue of working with the list that was generated from the National Register of Registrants, that PLE. So we're fighting hard. We have to deal with the issue of those new persons who were registered during the house to house.
Right, because I heard someone is telling me in the area, especially on the East Coast,
Mm-hmm.
that the people that went to the door.
Mm-hmm.
They did went to, but in one case, the opposition leader said not to,
Not to register.
right.
Yes.
They did an analysis in the same area,
Mm-hmm.
and what they told me, like 4,000 people.
Okay. Where the list is concerned, the PPPC has been doing extensive and intensive work, wide-ranging and in-depth, right?
Right.
So I think we have our fingers on the issues with respect to all three lists. The PLE that was generated from the legitimate National Register of Registrants, that's one. Then the house-to-house list. We're cross-matching that right now, name for name with that PLE. And then we have the issue with the ID cards, not collected, that list. So look out for what. Don't let's anger too much over that at this time. I know it's still being discussed at the commission, and your commissioners are working hard to ensure that everyone who is eligible will get to vote, and more particularly the list could be a good list, right? Thanks a lot. Good. I still got to get to Pagwali, so maybe if you give me 5 minutes, let me deal with Nicolette Henry. So Nicolette has on her hands two big issues which she is failing to address. The first being this issue of violence in schools. So a guy beats up on this girl, even though if she was teasing him or taunting him, physically, and then she's going to the school and say shake hands and make up, right? And this is a big boy. Then you have the issue of a phenomena which I raised a few months ago with Ann Green at the Ministry of Social Protection, Child Protection Unit, and that's issue of what happens with some youngsters in the male bathroom. And it's reoccurred again. So while we're keeping these things, these kids got to be dealt with as adults. You're doing adult stuff, so you got to be dealt with as adults. Then let's come back to Pagwali. So shake and make up. And now a long missive comes out, but bans Christmas party for secondary schools in Georgetown. And the kids them are supposed to have lunches in their classrooms, and they must play Christmas carols, and that will be supervised. And so the reason why this is being banned is unsavory elements come into the secondary school parties, it is said, and that the children dress too provocatively, and all kinds of music is being played. Well, Christmas parties tend to be chaperoned. And times change too. I'm not talking about provocative dressing by male and female, but things got to be chaperoned. So nothing like a Christmas party for the kids. You know, it's youth, it's high school. High school is the best time of your life, Nicolette Henry. You know, you're forming relationship, enjoying yourself, you're going on an adventure, you know, you're learning to deal with each other at the secondary level. So, and the Christmas party is integral. I am in support of Christmas parties in the secondary schools. I am in support of Christmas parties in the secondary schools. Good? So, and I remember each year the Christmas parties that I've been to in secondary school, starting in Form 1. I remember the Form 1, my elder brother got me a navy blue. Those times it was saltier, the big pants, right? Nice saltier pants that Cappy sold. Cappy was a guy who wear Yams liquor stories on the public road of Penningtons. Well, upstairs was our tailor, Cappy. So Cappy sold his pants then. I wanted a shine shoe, even though it was a rubber dinky. I wanted a glittery shine shoe, and I got my glittery shine shoe. And then I wanted a nice, solid pink shirt. Man, when I put that coconut oil in my head, and I rubbed some of that coconut oil on this rubber dinky shoe, right? And I put on that solid pink and this navy blue saltier pants, man. I was like, you know, naughty professor. Sharp, sharp, sharp. Thanks a lot. Hi, good. Sorry, I cut you off. So I'm in support of Christmas parties. I am in support. I ain't gonna sit down in no lunch with the same kid I'm sitting down in the bench all year and sit down and eat lunch. We eat lunch every day. We tease each other every day. You're gonna tell me now I'm gonna sit down and have a Christmas lunch with him too? Come on, or her. Hi, good evening, you're on the air. Hello, go ahead. Yeah, okay. On the air, but I had to take them off the air. So that was the last one I have, right? This long missive from the Ministry of Education. And clearly, I'm sure that the Chief Education Officer, Marcel Hudson, and Nicolette Henry is at war. And so she sent him on retirement leave and tell him we're making way for younger people. At the end of their term, they're making way for younger people. So Marcel is now on his way out, and strange, very strange in terms of what is happening at the level of government. Okay, good. So lines are clear. You can call on all the numbers you see there, and we have the three issues: the Commission of Police, the issue of crime. Is crime really down? We dealt with that when early in November, the October 2019, January to October 2019 statistics were put out as against the same period in 2018, and the police said serious crime was down by negative 2.5%. And I had raised that, and I was giving my own extrapolation of what we will end with this year as compared with the same period last year, and clearly all the indications were that we're going to see a 10 to 15% increase in serious crime for 2019. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars.
Right.
Good evening.
I like your program.
Go ahead, sir. Thank you.
I got problem in my police station.
Which one of them?
My Lash, my father,
No, which police station again? I miss you.
Mary.
Tamari. Okay, go ahead.
He did disabled. He tried. Imagine the Lash that he got steel in his foot.
Mm-hmm.
The guy he got a money. He bribed the police whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Then we run, and now we can't.
How long ago that happened?
This happened about 2 months ago.
2 months ago.
The car right now can't walk.
Uh-huh.
But 3 weeks ago, he got the surgery
Mm-hmm.
and can't get no justice.
So the guy was in charge. Attempted murder, whatever.
No,
Assaulted.
no.
No. And what the police has to say to Mary?
That he push up.
Mm-hmm. Must call me offline, right? And give me some of the details because, right? Okay. A Tuesday morning would be good for me, right? I'll be a little bit freer on Tuesday morning. But you see the thing that he just raised, the issue of these delays that's a serious crime. That's a serious crime. Another person contacted me today and he said, Mr. Nadir, I want to talk to you about an incident that I had. I'd hired someone as a bodyguard, and we were in the interior, and the guy trades, and he has a license to collect gold in exchange for his goods. And so he had 20 ounces of gold. This is 2017. And the person who he had as a security robbed him. 20 ounces of gold, he says. And the person was arrested in the interior. They brought out the sparring dam. And the matter was there. And on to now, this guy who robbed him is out, not tried, not convicted, and working with another security company, a popular security company in the city. So I don't know the particulars, but he felt after 2 years, nothing is being done. And like this other person about justice, right? I hear an issue in the West Dem too, West Demerara, West Bank, another issue service. So Commissioner, you have some work to do. You have some work to do. You have to reach out. Don't be in a state of denial. You've inherited a very, very hot seat. So you're going to have to ensure that you cool down that seat. And the only way to do that is to go out and out the fires. Right? Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Yes, Carver.
Good, go ahead.
Just by what my father is only about 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Me is started 9, I is a big son.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like, just unlucky like that. And this monthly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, call me off here now because I'm confident that there's going to be a little bit more to the story, right? And so, if you're in an accident, the police tend to charge both parties and put both parties in front of the court. I don't know all of the particulars. I can't see somebody just picking up a wood and lashing somebody. Maybe it's a situation like Nicholas Henry, somebody teasing somebody and the boy resorting. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars.
Yeah, Mr. Nadir.
Go ahead.
There it is. I is a contract guy. I do some work for policemen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? I think this guy is a PSU. I don't have too much details about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you can't, move from policeman to PNC so easy, right?
No.
Okay, good.
Listen to me. I go with my job. This man promised to pay me.
Mm-hmm.
And this man's going to be playing and going to carry me to court.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know what it?
Well, that's bullyism.
Huh?
That's bullyism.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's the only way you can get your money is going to court.
But what do you think about going to the police company at time?
The police can say it's a private matter and you have to take him via civil action. You have to take him to court via civil action.
The way police with you.
It's bullyism. But at least get a lawyer, write him a letter, and every letter that goes, everything, you report the matter to his Leslie James, and let him know what's happening under his.
What about meeting Leslie James basically?
Well, if you could get to meet him, would be great. I know Leslie used to meet a
I
lot.
can't have the police company authority.
Well, you could go to there too, right? You can go to the police complaint authority also.
Not with Boston, right?
But one would want to say that, listen, before you come to the police complaint authority, police has an internal affairs division
Okay.
in the office of the commissioner, right? So I want to suggest that you write him, and then let's see what could be done.
Okay, thanks.
Right. Okay. So don't like to bash the police, but tonight quite a few issues being raised on the police, but it's also part of the reflection of what is happening in terms of administration. So Kemraj, our Vice President and Minister of Public Security, these things are happening under your watch also. And the minister responsible has the authority to give directions to the Commissioner of Police. Right? So if I was a Minister of Public Security and I hear my commissioner saying that I am not bothered with 17 murders in 14 days, I would be livid. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Good evening.
Hey, the program.
Go ahead.
Something was amazing was it's like I see the Facebook yesterday that I was watching the Facebook. It's $1 that gets charged like 90 cents for more of the airport. There's not take it through. Like that something and I get really big to my job. How is that possible?
Boy, I find some strange things, right?
I mean it's like the guilt,
I thought life is life. Life is no possibility of parole.
I was shackling at the young man's knees and what his father, what the time to remember his story.
Yeah.
And the father used to work at GSC together every time. Now,
Well-
get kind of amazing.
Well, we have a president who believes in catch and release. He's a sport fisherman. You know, sport fishing. You just catch a fish and release it. Yeah, he believe in sport
And
fishing.
minutes after, yeah. With the president, the same thing.
Yeah.
The judge was like this.
So they're following the leadership of David Granger. Catch and release. Thanks a lot. Right. So can't understand what's happening. I thought that life is life. You know, there were some things which were held very, very sacred, right? And one was, I'm seeing some numbers that are appearing. If you had called in before, hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Why you still using the coconut oil in here?
I use
Get your thing.
I use coconut oil. Remember, we grew up on that coconut oil, right? And then all of a sudden, coconut oil just smell bad, and you can't
Get
eat
rancid.
it. No. That's what they used to say, right? And now, the white man bring it back for himself.
Yeah.
With all this,
It's the best oil.
it's the best oil.
Yeah.
I actually put some tonight in my
You
hair.
know, it gotta be doing something because when they used to call you at the force, it's great. And now you say get back.
No, I use putty and paint. They say putty and paint make a devil a saint.
Yeah, because you went grey and then you thought, I'm relaxing.
Chief.
Coconut oil indeed working.
No coconut oil don't work, boy. That's clear all. Black coloring.
I don't know.
Good.
I want we take a good look at this people behavior in this country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you go in certain business place,
Mm-hmm.
the same attitude some business owners got.
Mm-hmm.
The workers just adopt the attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but this country, look at the way in which this government is behaving, right?
Right.
They had a fight in the school, Nicholas Henry used to say, that always happens, there's not nothing new happening. That was her explanation, and
Mm-hmm.
he ended at that. Now the police commissioner saying he's not bothered,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
What's happening in this country to me is that the people become so impassive and indifferent.
Mm-hmm.
Like this study man for long by GPO,
Right.
and nobody was bothered. So if they're dealing with people like if they're dead or they're alive,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But you used a word last week, the Stoics.
Mm-hmm. Stoic.
You wanted
Yeah.
to have a Stoic expression,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
But the Stoics are really cold-hearted people, like the nihilists.
I don't believe they're cold-hearted.
No. You do something. You go back to the Sysium
Mm-hmm.
In Greece,
Mhm.
philosophy there, right?
Yeah.
They were really impassioned. They have no compassion,
Uh-huh.
right? And they always have some delusionary goal, just like the nihilists,
Mhm.
that they maintain could happen
Mm-hmm.
despite having indisputable evidence
Mm-hmm.
to the contrary.
Mm-hmm.
So these nihilists and the Stoics are the same, and like this we have in this country here, we have a leadership behaving like that,
Mm-hmm.
impassive, indifferent to anything. Whether people die to live, it makes no difference. And
Right.
the people also start to behave in the same manner.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a word here I want to read to you.
Go ahead.
I got something named anachronism.
Mm-hmm.
Anachronism is people or persons that belongs to the past and are not compatible with the present. They are chronologically out of place.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, we have in Guyana, these people don't understand the present status quo of this country.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And one more thing I got, Mr. Ron Sanders, you were complaining about him
Oh,
yesterday,
yeah.
right? I wanted to speak about Mr. Ron Sanders.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Ron Sanders, you were comparing him to the CARICOM.
Yes.
But the thing, Ron Sanders is the embodiment
Of CARICOM?
or an incarnation of CARICOM. So if you want to understand CARICOM,
Mm-hmm.
you got to understand Ron Sanders.
Right.
They see everything happening in CARICOM except in Guyana.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So when you want to understand what is CARICOM,
Mhm.
you just watch it Ron Sanders.
Yeah.
And he's the incarnation of CARICOM or the embodiment of CARICOM. Right?
You heard anything about the Dominican elections? I think it was today, right?
Oh, no, I have followed the Dominican election.
Why it caught my attention was the fact that CARICOM spoke out on Dominica, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, some elections issue they had, and they spoke out,
Yeah,
But we got an illegal government since March the
but
20th.
here we're getting at.
Yeah.
How is it that the CARICOM could notice
Yes.
all these other countries and the problems, but they're not noticing Guyana? They have a problem with something with Guyana. It's either they don't want to observe when a certain section of this country or society is being brutalized or taken advantage of. They don't want to see.
Uh-huh.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because why is Guyana being singled out, not to be seen and not to be commented upon? You get what I'm telling you?
Right.
So Ron Sanders is a man, he is a really embodiment of CARICOM. You got to ask anything more. Once you understand Ron Sanders, you understand CARICOM. All right, brother. Thanks a lot.
Thanks again. Thanks again for your very calm and wise words this evening. Good. So we have just about... Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars.
Yeah, good evening.
Go ahead.
I just want to ask one question, right?
Sure, if I can answer.
The police, if somebody robs somebody on the street, right, and a next friend live near to them, right, and the other person run away, right, and now I wanted the police to hold the next person.
I'm listening. But,
Okay, all right, I got incidents, right?
Yeah.
There's some people, call some people, cuff me in the head, cuff me in the ribs and everything, right? Next to them. And then when I go to the station, police tell me they can't hold the girl. Well, the people them went in the yard and saying it's the brother, it's the sister. And I must be trouble, you understand? Trouble is sister. So them cuff me up in me head, right in front of me, cheering them, run in the yard, threaten me with guns, pull the gun and stuff like that. I want to know why the police and hold the girl with all the people that went over in the yard to the park and all the things from and saying it's a sister. I don't know. Up to now, I just get caught. Everything that's open. I don't know what to do when I go to the station. The police said I know they went all wrong and west. And nobody said they know about the incident. And the incident happened right through the street by me and it never come. And the neighbors, them had to come out and stuff like that. You know, and hollering and saying, what going on, how y'all do such thing and thing. And the people that went right on the bridge and everybody gang up over it. If I had something serious now, I could just do to them and do to all of them. What would be the reception?
Well, don't. I know you're just giving the rhetoric statement, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we know what would happen, right? We can't take stuff into our own hands, but
Yeah.
we got to continue to speak up about these issues and press for change from the top down. Right.
It's trying best police station, or friends with the girl, and when they go in there, they have a big conversation, laughing and gasping, and you can't say anything. The police got you right in front of the people that and all these things going on.
Okay, pal, thanks a lot, right?
All right then.
Good. Okay, some updates. Dominican elections. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt has won re-election. I think there are 24 seats in the assembly there, and Skerritt won 18. So that's a resounding victory for Skerritt. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hi, good evening. You know the PPP can't win mass election.
Go ahead. Let's hear your views.
Yeah, you know the PPP can't win election. The coalition will have a landslide victory.
We're listening.
Yeah, right?
Okay, thanks.
But you got to remain in opposition until you're there.
Thank you, sir.
Good.
Have a good evening.
Good.
Good night. Good man. Okay, so we have another person here saying, "Good night, Mr. Nadir. I'm totally sick with the behavior in school. Our kids are not safe, and disciplinary action taken makes no sense. I'm fed up." Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars.
Good evening, Mr. Nadir. How are you
Good
doing?
evening. Quite well.
Okay, buddy. The last caller called and said you got to remain in office till the death.
Uh-huh.
But nobody can come for live forever. Everybody gets a death.
Thank you.
You know? So it's not the ruling party will be there for now and ever there that nobody wouldn't death. Everybody gets a death.
Right.
All right. Second thing.
Mr. Nadir, we have a serious problem at real book selling area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, there's no use they have a police station at Bristol.
Mm-hmm.
Corruption is so much at the real area, the traffic area, the people selling on the road. You know, when people, now there is a little walk free on the freedom selling area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people could use it. But when people occupy the walkway, people got to be on the road, and then people come park their vehicle, got to town, work, come back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they need to do something about that. When vehicle park, the road is not a wide road. When vehicle park both sides,
Mm-hmm.
people sell actually quarterly on the road and vehicle park. You expect what will happen there? You know, so I don't know who else will look into that matter.
But thanks for raising it. Yeah, I'm sure somebody is listening, and I trust that the regional administration and the NDC can come together and do something to allow all users of the space, sellers as well as the pedestrians and those who have to transport their.
Yeah, I understand everybody do have to live.
Yeah. But that's democracy. You can't live at the expense of impinging on the rights of other people.
Yeah, but you see,
Yeah.
the police them in here and they're doing nothing.
Right.
The police them doing nothing because when they want to agree and what they stand, when they want to meet, they go to the meet stand, when they want they, you know, so they have time with nobody. Everybody can do what they want, but you know, to me, the law in this country implement for one set of people.
Mm-hmm.
And there is something I don't know. I don't know if for you to recognize that, you gotta come with a video camera and video that area a whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Then you will see what's going on. Or if you come and sit like for a half day, you will see what's going on.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Well, thanks a lot for raising it, man.
Okay, Mr. Nadir.
Good. Thanks. Take care. Okay, so we have a few comments on the WhatsApp. I did read Sasha. I'll read a few more after this. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hi, good evening. I'm so thankful that I get through. I got a couple of issues that I would like
Go ahead.
to share with you. Firstly, the park there around the Starbuck area.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, as you know quite well, that there's so much of thieving going on, especially the cell phone snatchers and these things around the park. Even if you're in the bus, to snatch your phone through the window and go and running around.
Yeah, that's a big...
This thing is a well-organized thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
These little gangs of cell phone thieves that I have around, work night and the work day. And they don't have to go far to sell these phones. Right on the big market clock, they got buyers waiting right there on spot for them. And the constable and the police, they all know what's going on, and they're not breaking up that ring under the big market clock.
Yeah, we got to get more beat police.
Illegality that takes place there. The constable know they just walk up and all these phones with a snatch a carrot right there, they take out the SIM, they sell it back right there if you pass there. These persons there who buy these phones, they're going to ask you, you want a cell phone to buy?
Mm-hmm.
And a nice one, hey, look, the thieving things to sell them back.
Thanks a lot. But here what we got to do, right? These are supposedly small issues, but they're major. These small issues that fester to become big ones. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Nice start.
Good evening.
What I like to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the 2 points. Out of 100 good. Out of 100, I think 2 things good this government has done. Those rock shops, when they close them time and they make it nice all night, years ago they used to close 12 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
I think that is a good thing. Any government should close down all and music and them rock shop before midnight. That was one good. And the next thing with this school party we're talking about, we have good children in school and we have some wild children going to school. So the best party they should keep in the house.
Good. Okay. So I like that person, and if we use by extension, we should close down all the roads and start walking and riding bicycles, because the roads cause a lot of deaths. Let me read these couple of messages. Here we have, good evening, Mr. Nadir. I greatly admire the cool manner in which you dealt with that caller who said you remain in opposition. All the best to you and your wonderful family for this season and beyond, and to you too, sir. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hi, Nadir.
Go ahead.
All the cameras they put it all over the city.
Yes.
Why you don't put up a camera by big market there? That won't make sense?
Make a lot of sense, but cameras can't chase a bandit, so you have to have beat police. And in fact, today I had to laugh right at the corner at Camp and Rob Street. Right, you have all these police huts that you put up for the Christmas season. So here we have one of the police officers entertaining one of her friends inside a hut, and she got a vixen healer stuck in her nose, right? Like this, you know. So it was a good sight to see. But, you know, it's the Christmas season, you put out these huts. But the intention is to have patrol people who will patrol the blocks, and enough of them so that, yes, a couple of them could rest inside and they take turns at doing the beat. And the other issue with the people around Stabroek and the areas where you have all these petty thieves, supposed petty thieves, is you gotta get people on the beat there too. So I still can't understand why we can't do this. We haven't done it previously, and it's worse now. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes. I have 2 points to make.
Well,
if you guys had known directly the know-how to fix all these crime and things in Guyana, why is it now you bringing it up? Why didn't you do it in 20-something years? And you start basing the president. The next thing is that President Granger is the president of this country. Now, the way I hear you guys would address this man on the television, it's wrong. And if y'all talk about law and order, you guys gonna pull yourself together and address the man, give the man what is due to him.
What is due to him? Dictatorship?
He is the legal president of this country.
Not since March. Not since March the 20th, dear sir.
You know and I know what went on March 20th. Right?
I know what went on.
The man and let the man do his thing.
I know what went on the 21st of December 2018. I know what was confirmed on the 18th of June 2019. And I know until now we cannot have elections because there is someone who started out with a formal majority by the people and has now usurped power. And with that, it's 11:30, and we've just passed 1 hour of Hold No Bars. And I want to thank all of you once again for listening and contributing towards another great program this evening. We have a few more to go before we celebrate Christmas. In the meanwhile, protect yourselves from the bandits and watch your purse and watch your telephone and walk in numbers, even though the numbers don't deter some of the daring bandits on the road. So from all of us here at MTV and on my own behalf, thanks again for being part of our program this evening, and you have a great rest of the night.